Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sordward Shielbert's Spectacular Podcast, episode 5. I'm Ryan, head coach of the Boston Braviaries Commish and reigning champion. And today I'm joined by head coach of the Waco Scizors, Josh. Head coach of the Lavender Gengars, Chris.
How's it going, guys?
And head coach of the Minnesota Nidokings, Matt.
Hello there.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Man, you both got your electric Pokemon hanging out.
Sure did.
Dang, I should have gotten mine. Maybe I'll have to grab something.
Straight out of Pokemon.
Honey, get me my Charmander.
I don't know where my other ones are. I have a Cyndaquil and a Umbreon somewhere.
Oh yeah, Pokemon swag. All right, guys. So we officially got our first week of matches done. Got this little guy here, and yeah. So I guess Josh, you're the only one out of us four who actually came out on top. And,
yeah.
I'll let you lead off, Josh. How was your week? 100 times better than any of ours, but tell me about it.
I don't know. We're the one with the Pokemon.
I mean, it's
Consolation prize.
it was a better first week than last season.
That's true. That's true. And you played against
Seattle.
Oh yep, Seattle Shiny Sylveon. Yep, that's right. So tell me a little bit. Did he bring the Pokemon you were expecting him to bring?
No, in fact, he brought 3 Pokemon. I think it was 3 that I didn't consider. It was like Glaceon, and oh my god, I can't remember actually which 3 they were. I can, but
You killed them so fast. It's not.
yeah, I know, it's just so quick. Yeah, but otherwise, it was a pretty good match. I've never really played doubles before, so but I think it's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There definitely is more to think of, like a couple moves that deal damage not just to both opponent Pokemon but to your partner also. So that's like you gotta play around those sometimes. And actually, those were probably my biggest misplays during the game.
Yeah, you gotta kind of realize what moves could be affecting you as well.
Yeah.
For damage and everything.
I mean, there was one time when Toxtricity was pretty close to being KO'd, but I chose not to play Earthquake. I Sword Stance instead, and I should have just done Earthquake because Toxtricity died the first move of that round. So it was kind of, I don't know what I was thinking, but I don't think it would have made a difference.
It was going to die anyway, is basically what you're saying. So.
What was that?
I said you're basically saying it was going to die anyway, so might as well.
Yeah. So I don't know why I didn't choose to do Earthquake instead. And I don't think it would have made any difference. I think it still would have ended with 3 Pokemon remaining either way, but it still felt like something I should have just wouldn't have mattered. Because Toxtricity, like I said, Toxtricity didn't even get a move off that turn, so it didn't make a difference.
Yeah, so did you have like a key strategy in mind against this team? I mean, like you said, like half of this team you weren't really expecting, but did you go in with like a strategy or were?
Well, I was thinking that I was thinking that he was going to bring in Meowstic and Corviknight maybe first, and I wanted to take out Corviknight right away since it was his G-Max Pokemon, and I was afraid he was going to start guarding or whatever. So my mostly was just like take out Meowstic and Corviknight, but he didn't even play Meowstic, so it didn't even matter.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, that was pretty much it. Then I was kind of take out the Pokemon as they came out. So
awesome. Well, congrats on the win, Josh. 1-0, 3 points.
Can I just say that actually it's pretty surprising. There's like a 4-way tie for 4th place.
Yeah. Oh, that's the first week. There's an 8-way tie for last place right now too. So
it's just like there's so many people who had 3 Pokemon remaining and not just like 1 Pokemon left, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Or more of a mix. It's like 6, 3, or the 2 basically.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Not kind of a bell curve, but it's shifted a little bit,
Yeah.
So, but I think close to what we could expect for most things. I think you're going to usually end up with probably 2 or 3 points from a solid win. But
I have to say it's pretty surprising that there are 2 teams that had 6 Pokemon remaining. Like that percent on, was it Gengars?
yeah.
Was like,
I have some insight on that. We'll kind of go over at least those couple matches, because those are a couple sweeps happened, which is very rare in doubles. Not unheard of, just rare. So again, Josh, congrats, and now let us losers have a say. So Chris, Lavender Town Gengars. Also, I wanted to say that all of us on here are original Season 1 members, which is awesome. And Chris, you ended up playing against Paris Saint-Germain, the PSG, one of our newcomers. And what happened? What was your strategy going in, and how did it kind of fall apart on you?
So yeah, I was really confident about that matchup. I guess it was a combination of underestimating my opponent and being a little bit too confident in what I had coming in. I know my biggest weakness last season was focusing on type advantage and not so much on abilities, EVs, and that strategy coming in. So when I was preparing for the draft, I really focused on not just the typing advantage, because with doubles, there are teams that are really utilizing the support of Pokemon, which coming into the match, I understand they were using the Butterfree Gmax, which I understand is a really good support of Pokemon, and that pretty much was the engine of the Paris Saint-Germain, if I'm saying it right.
Yeah, PSG. We can just say
PSG, right? Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much the engine of that matchup, and that really took up for a loop. And I know we have the week 1 MVP voting. If there was like a E section, I would definitely put that on there, because that I didn't really have an answer for it, and even his Ferrothorn with the grass and steel, I didn't really have much coming back into it, so it was just tough for me. I had no answers for certain things that he brought to the table, and the Pokemon that I had a system going with it. I mean, I really focused on the abilities that I've had with my Arcanine and my Raichu with Static and Intimidate, but again, he had an answer for it, and it was just a really well played match on his end. And just gets me thinking into next week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, always build upon what you learn week by week, and I know you'll get them, Chris. You've definitely taken a lot of steps forward, since the first season, even, I want to say. So
yeah,
I know that you got better things ahead of you. Yeah, seems like that Gmax Butterfree early really kind of set the tone for that match. And
and I'm trying to think of other one that he had that were just I honestly had no answers for, but the Butterfree, I'm just thinking that was really helpful. I mean, I'm so glad one of the Pokemon I drafted, my Sandaconda, honestly really kept my team together with Spit. It's just and along with Spikes, it's just it worked out so well, and just I'm so happy I have him on my team.
Yeah, nice.
Just really been really helpful for me as a ground type Pokemon. I mean, my favorite by far. Yeah.
So actually, this is a good question for you, Chris, because usually in competitive doubles you don't see a lot of like entry hazards, aka Spikes, Stealth Rocks, but in a 6v6 format, for any of those who watch Boston Braviaries versus the Montreal Milotics, there was quite a bit more switching in and out, trying to reposition, because with 6 Pokemon you can kind of afford that. So from what you're saying is you found that those entry hazards didn't matter throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, I think it does. I know me as a battler and as a trainer, I am so focused on just trying to take out my opponents. I'm a very old school gamer. I've played all the generation games, I think my weakness going in is definitely focusing on those abilities and focus on EV training, which is something that I guess is a little bit new to me. I guess. I mean, you're. I guess we're all
kind of like the next step, like for competitive, to get into that stuff.
Well, when you think about it too, you're playing the one player game, and you're just so focused on just beating your opponent. That's just the focus of it. I think trainers get so lost in the just like the gameplay itself. So I think when it gets competitive battling, these are the things you just see and go coming in.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Chris, I know we'll expect a lot more from you throughout the season.
Thank you.
Good insight. Thank you. Matt, Minnesota Nidokings.
Oh no.
Falling to another new team this season, the Houston Darmanitans.
Ironic.
What can you tell me? What was your strategy going in? I know you told me a few things off camera, so I'll let you kind of speak to that. But
So,
what happened?
first thing, it's ironic that I lost to the team whose namesake is my most known Pokemon, Darmanitan.
Yep, you've used Darmanitan.
My sweeper
last
both
season and this
seasons.
season, Yep.
Essentially, I was just going to start out with Indeedee and Darmanitan because Darmanitan actually has some nice moves with Rock Slide and Earthquake, both being fairly nice in doubles. Didn't want to use the Earthquake early because Indeedee. I would have used Excelgor first, but I didn't have it ready yet. Which if I did have it ready would be very nice because my Darmanitan would not have gotten the 3 drops to speed. Because it took 3 hits to defeat the, I forgot what it's called, the new Kime Pokemon.
Yeah, Eldegoss.
Eldegoss, yeah, because its attacks those, when you hit it, it's those everything. It took 2 Rock Slides and a Psychic.
Wow, that's pretty bulky.
Oh yeah, well, Rock Slide on a grass type.
Yeah, true, against the grass, yeah.
After Conan Sporing. Which, if I remember correctly, that was like, what, a 2 or 3 defense boost?
Oh yeah, yep, true. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's up too.
Yeah, and
Just an annoying, sticky Pokemon.
Psychic hurt it a lot, though, which will be nice now that I have a better version.
There you go. We'll talk about that a little bit later too, but yes.
So my main plan was essentially, I'm not going to get any priority on my team. So no Sucker Punch, Diglett, no anything like that, no Fake Out. I'm just going to stop it all completely. Psychic Terrain. 8 turns, no priority. Fun. And then I didn't have my main Sandstorm setter, so I only had Hippowdon, which Vicious Wren destroyed it before I could even tell it was in the field. So I ended up having to deal with the Rain team with the Sandstorm team with no Sandstorm, so that ended up flopping. And that's kind of how it went.
Yeah, so I think the key from yours is you didn't have the time to prepare the Pokemon that you wanted to bring, which obviously, sometimes you just can't get that right Pokemon that you were trying to get for the matchup. Awesome. Well, Matt, I know you did very well in Season 1. That Darmanitan carried you far, so hopefully you
almost swept the whole entire team, and then Focus Sash stopped it. Because I didn't have hidden ability on my Xatu yet, which I still only have your Xatu, Shaman.
Oh, yeah.
Have no reason to replace it. It's a really good Xatu. Didn't pick it up because I don't have much of a reason to do double barrier this season. Despite it probably being more stronger this season to go barriers.
Oh yeah, and doubles, it's always nice. Awesome, well.
Which is going to be fun when people go against whoever has Gmax Lapras.
I had to go against Gmax Lapras this week. Good transition there, Matt. Thank you for that. And actually, I felt like I didn't have any problems with his Gmax. I don't know if you guys were able to watch the match.
Yep.
I felt like his D-Max really didn't do too much against me. I played around it very well. Again, I played against the Montreal Milotics and Tom. His team very hard countered mine. I don't think that was, a surprise to anybody. Tom's team, Montreal, can do a lot of different things, has a lot of versatility. So I have a Trick Room team that could not use Trick Room due to his imprisoned Oranguru and other Pokemon. But overall, the match was actually really close. If you saw, there were a couple key turns that just didn't go my way. I used a Sing with Clefairy that would have shut down his D-Max like right away, which would have been nice. Again, his D-Max didn't do a lot against my team, but damage is damage. And two, he got a key flinch against my Melmetal on a turn where I could have killed something. But yeah, other than that, it was a close match. I'm going to learn from a couple misplays that I did. And I'm going to just also hope for some better luck going forward. I think I have a real good matchup this upcoming week, so I'm expecting to start turning it around right away. But yeah, for those who didn't watch my match, check it out on the YouTube videos. All right, so now, with that being said, let's take a look at the current standings.
Oh no.
All right, so here we go. We'll kind of start, we'll start at the bottom. Now we're here. So this is the cluster of everybody who lost. We got Davenport Dragapults, Seattle Shiny Sylveons, Lavender Town Gengars, Boston Braviaries, Minnesota Nidokings,
hey, it's me,
Charizards, Mighty Psyducks, and Worcester Delibirds. All 0-1, no points. Basically tied for 9. Like 9 through 16, they're all tied. In 8th place, we have Detroit Steelix, who won their game but only had 2 Pokemon left, so they have 2 points. So they're in 8th place. But hey, you'll want to know that that's a good start.
Better than what most of us got.
Yeah. Well, hey, half of everybody's got to lose, right? Week one's always, don't take it too seriously, but learn what you can from it. Then we got this nice little cluster, all these teams tied for 4th place. We got the Houston Darmanitans, the Montreal Milotics, PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, and our very own Waco Scizors. All 1-0 with 3 points. So they ended up with 3 Pokemon remaining at the end of the match. Sitting alone in 3rd place, we have the Denver Ninetales, 1-0 with 4 points. And then up here, tied for 1st, we got the LA Kinglers and the Tuscaloosa Talonflames with straight sweeps, 6-0. Wow.
Was that any of us here that got swept?
Nope. LA defeated the Worcester Delibirds, and Tuscaloosa defeated the Mighty Psyducks.
Not so Mighty Psyducks.
Yeah.
So I got a little bit of feedback from both of these teams, kind of like what happened. Like, no offense, but how the heck did you win 6-0 in doubles? Like, what? Like, at least lose somebody. So I talked to Matt, the head coach of the Kinglers, and he said his Jellicent with Water Spout, Strength Sap, he was cycling in his Intimidators, and that just kept his Jellicent alive, and his Jellicent ended up with 5 KOs that match. Also had a Shadow Ball as a southern move for attacking. So Jellicent kind of just shut down. And I will say Worcester's team is very physical. Cinderace.
Yeah, you want mixed attacks
Morlax,
in this game mode.
Yeah, like a lot of physical attackers. So he had the right kind of setup.
Or at least something that can resist Intimidate because of how common it is.
Yeah. So I think that'll be something Worcester will be looking forward to correcting, for lack of a better term. And Tuscaloosa, for those who don't know, that's the Defend the Colossal team. And
oh god, no.
Colossal basically swept. Psyducks did not go in with a strategy to beat Colossal, and Colossal did what Colossal does, which is unfortunate there for mighty Psyducks, but they got a win last season. I think they can sneak one out again this season.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any other thoughts on these two teams? 6-0, that's a good place to start off the season.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at who they're playing next week.
All right.
So we got LA's gonna. Oh, Chris, you get to go up against the undefeated LA. So,
that's fun.
How do you feel about that, Chris? You don't have to give us any strategy, just overall thoughts, knowing that Jellicent was the key for him this one.
Yes, and you know what? I'm so glad I'm actually facing him this week, because I just wanted to bring up between what surprised me between these two teams is the Pokemon that they've used. But I think going into that MVP selection that we're looking into week 1, I did mention the Gmax Butterfreeze from my previous opponent, but going with the LA Kinglers, I mean, that Jellicent, I mean, it took out 4 or 5 Pokemon. I'm just looking at the standings here, but it's just really impressive. I mean, I know listening to their podcast, the LA Kinglers, definitely going into that tier, they were a team that has definitely been talked about a lot in terms of being that above average team that I think really just coming into the season was going to be a force to be reckoned with. And it just really is a testament. That match week 1 is really just a testament to how well they've been performing, and gives me a little bit to think about, but it's something that is something that I need to look into coming in, and that's something that, how am I going to take on LA Kinglers, knowing their strategy with these two Pokemon that they've used to wipe out their opponent.
Yeah, very cool. So, and we looked at Tuscaloosa, and I get to play them. And I already said, I feel like I have a very good matchup this week. And I'm not going to give anything away. But I'm expecting a very cool video next week. Very cool. So all you fans be prepared for that. And I'm expecting a Boston Braviaries W.
That'd be a first.
Yeah, very similar.
You want me to grab this trophy?
I beat you when we fought last season.
In the regular season.
True. Well, we didn't have a chance to fight, I think, after playoffs.
Yeah. All right.
I feel like you were going to have a hard time getting the sweep of having 6 Pokemon left.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm going to get a sweep on them. I just, I think I'll end up with like 3 left. I think that's a nice little middle area.
Yeah, 3 is fine.
Yeah.
Should we bid on it? No.
All right, and speaking of that, Chris kind of brought it up, but we have MVP voting also going on. So right here,
From the sounds of it, Jellicent or Colossal.
Most likely, but we got some interesting ones. So we have Gmax Colossal, which is Tuscaloosa Talonflames, 5 KOs, 6-0 sweep, very dominating. We also have Jellicent from the LA Kinglers, another 5 KOs in a 6-0 sweep. Scrafty, who in a losing effort picked up 4 KOs, but who the heck saw Scrafty getting 4 KOs? Very impressive.
I can see it as Dragon Dance and some pretty decent attacks plus Intimidate.
Who could see it? I don't know. And lastly, up for our MVP voting is Teleper. 3 KOs, and of course, it is the engine that drives the Rain team this season. So it is setting up the Dreadnoughts, the Ludicolo's, extra strong Vicious Wrens from
If I ever fight it again, I'll be prepared with a snake.
There you go. Well, maybe in the playoffs, Matt. I wish you luck to exact your revenge.
If I make it. Probably. I just need to get the last 4 I don't have yet.
All right, moving on from what's going on in the league.
What about Gigglet?
Pokemon in general. So, big news this week. We had the Isle of Armor DLC drop. We've all gotten to play it in some extent. Bigger news, Pokemon Smile is now available. So, if you are excited for Pokemon Smile, like, subscribe, ring that bell, drop a comment, and delete me off your contact list because what is that what you lead off a news conference with? I'm disgusted. But anyway, and we'll have more news coming out next week. Sinnoh remakes maybe, Let's Go Johto. One of them I'm more excited for than the other. So
Please, let's go Johto actually a thing.
But rapid fire, real quick, first impression about the DLC, Josh.
I think it's nice that we have access to more Pokemon and that some things like a new bike uniform and a cooler bike.
Okay, who went black and who went white? Raise your hand if you went black.
Wait, what?
The black bike. Oh yeah, the black bike.
Oh, we all went black?
Red and
Yeah.
black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's be real here. Fancy or cool? None of us are fancy.
What's our cool?
We're all really cool.
No, you're not.
So back to the first impressions of the DLC here. Yeah, well, it's
I
great.
thought the bike was the only impression.
The new
Okay,
moves
Chris,
are
rapid
cool.
fire, first impression.
Wait, there's something other than the bike?
Yeah.
I think the DLC is lame.
There you go. Very hot take.
I never thought.
Did you find all 150 Digletts? How can you think that's lame?
15.
There's one that I can't find in the starting area, and I'm not looking it up. All right.
Oh, I
First impression.
haven't played
Go.
that much, but I found 15. I bet you it's probably on an island or something.
I probably have a more optimistic take on it. I mean, I've seen news articles about the DLC with Isle of Armor sort of being this intermediate region, which I guess can kind of be. I've finished the gameplay with the defeating Master Mustard and Clara at that part, and now I've trained my Kubfu, which is the reward that you get after completing your match with Clara. For spoiler alerts, yeah, if you haven't played it, shame on you. But I'm between the Tower of Water and the Tower of Darkness. Those are 2 towers. You can only choose one to go to. I'm sort of leaning towards the Tower of Water.
Water.
I think that.
Raise of hand. Who
Yeah.
is going water or went water?
I'm going dark.
Yeah, I went dark.
It's essentially rapid strike or single strike. And I feel
Yes,
like single
that is
strike
what it
is the better one.
Very good, Matt. You nailed it on the head.
But again, this is the
Darker Shifu or water? I can take that guess really easily.
yeah, but I guess it's like I don't know. I guess
Neither are bad. I'm just gonna
Neither are bad. No, they're both really good. I just prefer dark because G-Max it, do 3 G-Max Cheese Strike, you and your ally get guaranteed crits.
okay. So then
Do 2, get Drapion, guaranteed crits with Sniper. And Stab on Night Slash.
Then what about the fighting water? Then what?
I think the water one only has multi-hit. I don't remember if he does the stat boost. Let me look it up.
So the water one also auto crits, but it is a 3 hit 25 base power move instead of a single 80 base power move. But that's good against sashes and it's good against subs. Another thing.
Okay, so is it rapid flow?
If you guys watched my breakdown on all the new moves,
Right.
check that out on the YouTube channel. I break down all the new moves, give them a rank. All right, so Matt, we kind of already got some impressions from you on the DLC. Overall, thumbs up, thumbs down.
What?
Thumbs up, thumbs down on the DLC. Thumbs up. Okay, I'm gonna give it. I think what Chris kind of said, it's like an intermediate area, but I think the big things are going to be built on for the next DLC. I don't think this DLC is who.
I have to like it
I
because it's a
think that
Galarian
needs to be a
slow
little more.
bro.
Can I just say, I think the wild area is what the wild area should have been in the base game.
Yeah,
It just looks better.
yeah. And the island is bigger than what I expected it to be as well. I came in with low expectations and they beat those, so I think overall it's good. But of course, I would like more.
Also,
And also, I don't get enough raid dens and Zeraors and all the ones I do have, and I want to catch like good new Pokemon.
also, I'm actually kind of glad. A lot of people were mad about this, but I'm actually like glad that Game Freak decided to just do the DLC instead of just making a third Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Pay 60.
Oh, I'm happy about that
Yeah,
also.
I don't have to replay the goddamn story again.
Yeah.
Yep,
Do all that.
like with Ultra Sun and Moon.
Yeah, they should just do this all the time now that they have the capability on a half decent.
I feel like they probably did with older games, I just don't think they wanted to.
Yeah, well. All right, so that's DLC talk. Now we got mailbag. All right.
Can I say one last thing?
Uh-oh.
Galarian Slowpoke line. What's your guys' opinion?
Well, since we only have slow, bro, I think it's decent. Like, it's not
Slow,
great. It gets
bro.
Regenerator as its same ability, so it's like an offensive Regenerator instead of a defensive one, which could be interesting.
Slowbro being one of my favorite Pokemon, giving it one of my favorite typings, Poison, I have to love it.
Yeah, I think it's a good Pokemon for sure. I like the additions they do with Slow Poke into Slow Bro. So yeah, I think it's a great addition.
I will say one thing I don't like about it. I don't like having to collect 8 Galarica twigs. Freaking make a Galarica cup to give to it. Like, you know, that just seems like a little.
I've
Too much
found
work, but-
3
Yeah.
so far.
Look under trees. There's a hint.
Yeah.
Game Freak was like, it's too easy to evolve Pokemon now. We need to make it as tough as possible.
Like, I already have to trade some of them, and that makes me have to talk to people.
Hey, this is great content for people that haven't tried DLC and are interested whether or not they want to buy it. Am I right?
Yep, that's right. Here's your
If you
take.
wanna-
Overall, we got 1 thumbs down. I think 2.5 thumbs up. So take that for.
Hey, on the bright side, at least it's not far-fetched evolution.
Hey,
3 crits in 1 match.
Yeah, that's true.
Refresh is great. That
Or Runerigus, where Yamask have to be near fainted and then go to an obscure rock in the wild zone that nobody's going to go to anymore when they have the DLC.
It's true. At least it's not that obscure of an evolution. All right, mailbag time. Questions for everybody.
Oh no.
How did your expectations of week 1 hold up to your actual match? So I'll start with this one. I think overall, it kind of met my expectations. I knew it would be a tough battle, and I knew it would be close, and that's basically how it ended up. Josh, expectations versus results.
Actually, it went much better than I anticipated. Because didn't you play like an exhibition match or a
Yeah.
season match against Seattle? And was this Ryan?
Huh?
Did you play a pre-season like match against?
Yeah.
Yeah, and didn't they beat you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so after seeing that, I was like, oh no, this is gonna be a lot harder than It's gonna be like pretty hard, pretty tough.
In my defense, I didn't have any of my Pokemon EV trained, and I didn't want to show any of my like actual moves or tricks to like really like I just threw the Pokemon kind of in there. But yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, it still went better than I thought it would. It actually went much better than I thought it would.
Hey, you got a dub. Chris, how about you? Expectations versus results.
Obviously the results weren't there. I was a little disappointed on the results, but my expectations, it was almost like trying to get the jitters out a little bit. I was definitely preparing for the season. I've learned a lot from last season, and it was just something where it was just like, okay, this is what happened. This was the match. There's a lot of good, really talented teams, especially with the new ones. I mean, kudos to the Tuscaloosa Talonflames to really take the sweep next with a veteran team like the LA Kinglers, who will be my opponent next week. But that was just my take on it. So here's to week 2.
Nice. Matt, expectations versus results.
I expected Darmanitan to hit harder. I expected Indeedee to not hit as hard. And disappointed Trapinch didn't do as much damage from a helping hand Earthquake.
Well, live and learn, those damage counts. All right, next question.
The outcome is what I expected, though. I didn't expect to win without Sandaconda.
Yeah, well, you'll have your full team next week, and then we can really see what the Nidokings have. So this is good because all of us are Season 1 veterans.
Time to put the King in Nidoking.
How'd the change from singles to doubles affect you? Preparation, all this stuff. So, Matt, why don't you take that one first? Singles to doubles.
Well, as someone who only has ever done singles, it's a whole different thing. To be honest, it wasn't as hard as I thought it'd be, mainly because it's like, let me just counter everything everyone uses. Intimidate, Mirror Armor, Special Attacker, Priority, Indeedee. Weather. So that's kind of just my plan. Plus Excel Core just in case there's something I can't deal with.
Chris, how about you? Singles to doubles.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I won't go too much into it. There was definitely a lot that I learned from the first season. But I think kind of what Matt was saying, I mean, at least this is my take on it. In singles battles, we're so used to switching Pokemon based on type advantage. I think with doubles, there's so much strategy that goes with it. You could have a Pokemon that has a weakness, but it has an ability that can overcome said weakness, and there's just so much more strategy involved with it that makes the gameplay really just a lot more exciting. I mean, I look forward to the next couple of weeks and just really showing what my Pokemon have and going from there.
Josh, how about you?
I think doubles is way better than singles. My first time actually playing doubles, really, also. But there's just so much more strategy that it's not just like throw my strongest move against my opponent and hope that it works, right? It's like you gotta have there's a lot more decision making involved.
Yeah,
I actually think it's a lot more fun that way.
it's definitely the gentleman's game. It has a refined air of strategy and teamwork.
So that's why you lost.
I'm actually really interested in the future season if we did 4v4 instead, 4v4 doubles instead, because that would be even more strategic.
All right, okay. Maybe an all-star game or something. I don't know if I do a whole season of that. But I see what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
All right, next question. I guess this one, Matt, you already kind of spoke about, so I'll let Josh and Chris kind of take this one. How well prepared did you feel you were for your first match?
Not enough.
Can I go first?
All my rain Pokemon were not
Chris,
prepared.
you can go first. I already know Matt wasn't prepared.
Neither were you. So it sounds good. Sorry.
Yeah. So, like I said, I really thought I was prepared, just because of the Pokemon that I selected, especially how I went through the draft and the top tier Pokemon that I've selected. Again, it wasn't enough, and there were Pokemon that my opponent had that I didn't really have an answer for, and he really showed up that week, and it got me thinking to my strategy coming in the next couple weeks and how I can really better prepare against my opponents, especially with a team that came in with a sweep for week 1. So,
Josh, how about you? How do you feel you prepared?
I feel like I was very prepared. Yeah, so.
Very good. All right, so we got 2 6-0 sweeps. Who do you think is the team to beat in the league now? Now it's 1 week, so I'm gonna say too early to tell. I think versus the 2 top teams right now, I like Kingler's a little bit more just because I don't think his strategy is as one-dimensional. And when your strategy is one-dimensional, you can kind of like piece it apart a little bit. But Josh, what do you think? If you just from the first results, who's the team to beat?
I think you're right. I think it's too early to tell. I think coming right out of the gate, that first match, people don't really know what to expect. And so in future weeks, we can pour over each other's spreadsheet data or whatever and see what was good and what wasn't, and figure out strategies from there. So I think it is too early to tell. Maybe in like 2 weeks, it might be easier to see a clear front.
Yeah, let it marinate a little bit. Matt, what do you think? You got a team to beat?
Maybe just Colossal is one I'm more interested in beating. Mainly because Jellicent, if what you explained is their whole strat, a strat based around a sweeper and then a bunch of intimidates won't work against every team. And my team has counters to that.
That's what worked well in this one.
Yeah, but that's not really going to work well, so I'm not really too scared of that team. But Colossal, I'm more intimidated by it because I've never fought Colossal. Like I've fought Colossal in grade battle.
Do I?
Yeah.
So I think kind of following up what Josh said, I think it is a little too early to tell. The teams that I'm looking out for and watching with intent, I think if we go back to the standings, I mean, you don't have to bring up the page and everything. Some teams that strike to me as teams to look out for, I think it's definitely the top 2 with the LA Kinglers and the Tuscaloosa Flames. I mean, they have the sweep, but kind of going what Josh and Matt was saying is that how are they going to follow with it? Or are they a one-dimensional team? You don't know. They could have just had a lucky week for the most part, but I think those are 2 teams to definitely watch out for. A team that I know that I always look at, especially with just his strategy and his mindset and how he trolls the other teams in the league, the Montreal Milotics. He's all talk, but he has the Pokemon to back himself up with it. I mean, if you're all talk and don't have that Pokemon to back yourself up with it, I mean, then you're just talking out of your, what.
Yeah, Tom does that too.
and that's nothing against Montreal Milotics. They're a great team. But getting back to, I think even with the teams that have lost this week, I think still it's too early to tell. It's just 1 week. It's like myself shaking off all the jitters and just coming in with a new strategy and pulling through.
Nice. Very cool. So next question. What's your team's biggest weakness, and are you already looking at potential trades or free agents to try and correct it? So I'll kind of take this one. I think coming out of the draft, and I was pretty vocal about this in some of the earlier podcasts, I think I went a little too hard on the Trick Room. I like my core, but I need some Pokemon that can operate outside of it. So I already have my eyes on a couple things. I'm already talking with some coaches about potential trades once trades open in week 3 to maybe correct some of that. Josh, how about you? You got a weakness you're looking to correct?
Well, I was actually I wasn't totally on board with the Pokemon that I picked that first during the draft. I don't know if I have anything that I would say is a weakness yet. We'll see. I would like to do something with like Yukamuku someday as just like a fun thing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So I guess I have to see like in a week or two if there's a Pokemon that I really feel like I need to switch out. I feel like last season I didn't do any switches until like the last week or two, and I really feel like it helped me a lot. So I'll definitely be on the lookout for that earlier this season. Although there are fewer Pokemon to choose from.
Yeah, because there's more teams.
But yeah, there's still some good Pokemon on the board as free agents. So
yeah, for sure. Good to keep your eye on that. Chris, how about you? Do you have a weakness you're thinking of shoring up, and have you already started looking at the free agent pool or talking to any coaches about what they might have on the trading block?
I haven't talked to coaches, but I have been thinking about my team a little bit more, and I think at least for what I now know, the core that I have, I think is very good. I actually had a battle with someone, and I used my doubles team, and it beat them, and it's the team that he was so used to using. Probably because he wasn't so used to doubles, but my team is good. I know my core, the 6 that I've chosen at the draft, are very good. I think the C tier, are the 4 that I need to kind of flip around a little bit. I mean, I think there were some Pokemon I was intent on getting. There was one that was snubbed, and I missed out on the chance of getting it, and that was on my mistake. But I think, not to make this short, I think the C tier Pokemon in the draft are something that really shouldn't be underestimated. They actually can be really helpful, and I've been sneaking in and seeing, what can I use for my upcoming matches. So.
Matt, what about you? You got any Pokemon you're looking at?
Mainly 2 Pokemon I plan on getting rid of currently. Hippowdon and Dugtrio.
Oh, so you got a couple B tiers there that could be on the trading block.
Some that I'm interested in, Darmanitan, just because both Darmanitans would be pretty fun. But in all seriousness, Trevenant, really nice physical wall in the B tier. Haxorus, really nice sweeper. Copperajah, another wall. Indeedee male, pretty nice. Not sure if I'm able to use it with the female. Is that all on?
Good, technically.
Okay.
Both.
Maybe evolve Trapinch and get Flygon. Actually, I'd have to get a new one. Trapinch is level 100. But yeah, I definitely have options.
You can give level 100 Pokemon rare candies and they'll evolve.
Noted. Well, I'm still probably going to keep the Trapinch. Just probably get a new one.
All right, very cool. Well, you just riled up quite a few Pokemon that people should keep their eye out. Maybe some of us were keeping our eye on them and didn't want you to say any of that, but it's out there now. It's in the void. All right, last question, guys. What are your thoughts on the new moves added in the Isle of Armor, aka Watch My Video? And did you use any or see any used in your matches?
I didn't see any in mine. I didn't have the DLC yet, and I don't think the person I went against has the DLC yet. But I already put one of the moves on my main Pokemon. Expanding Force on Indeedee, because plus Psychic Surge, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's an auto include on Indeedee, just way better. Chris, what about you? How do you feel about the new moves? Did you get to use any?
Not yet. I watched your video. I'm probably gonna watch it again after this. Really insightful. And it just gets me thinking. I mean, you know, there's always new moves that comes up, and you think of, what moves could I use here? Is it going to be similar to like some other moves? You bring up some really good points in your videos. So I'm probably just going to go back again, see if I can use it for my Pokemon. If it calls for it. Like I said, I know one of my Pokemon was Cinderace last year. As much as I wanted him on my team, I know it wasn't in the cards for me. I needed to work on my team with what I had. Just, and not in the cards for just this season.
Nice. Josh, what do you think about the new moves added in the Isle of Armor?
I'm just going to defer to your video.
There you go. I'll post it in the description, guys. You can check it out.
You should. Can't you add the link to the video itself?
I can, if I'm tech savvy enough. We'll find out. Stay tuned to the end of the video to find out if I figured out how to do that.
You should put it right where you just pointed your finger.
I should have put Expanding Force on my Hatterene, and right when I started up the battle, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to put Expanding Force on my Hatterene. But pretty much a strict upgrade over Psychic for the most part. Yeah, and again, refer to my video. A lot of great moves, a few stinkers, but a lot of great ones. And I think now that everybody's getting the DLC and playing through it and figuring their team out, we're going to start seeing a lot more of those moves pop up, because there are definitely some big hitters in that. Yeah, and that's our mailbag segment, and that's our podcast, guys. So thanks for everybody for watching. On behalf of all of Sordward and Shielbert's Spectacular Skirmish Society, keep battling and bring your Pokemon plushie on the next podcast.